personally each person. My pressure. It's pretty insane. And I'm holding so strong. I'm holding so strong. And there's this sense of wanting people to understand. Sakes. Wanting them to understand so deeply that I'm sharing this raw footage for all our sakes. For those of us who need it, who need to look and listen deeply to the experience of looking the pain in the face, not brushing it off or always joking, looking the pain in the face, getting to the heart, the root of what's causing the pain, going in deeper and deeper. It's my own self expressing what I'm observing in my own life. And yet it's not really personal, it's a global experience. Everybody's experiencing it differently. You know, it's like I want to just come from my standpoint without being concerned about whoever's listening, or if they understand me, or if it's what they need. I just want to come from the place of authenticity, transparency, and I'm broadcasting what's needed for me. I'm broadcasting what's needed for my friends, my allies, my fans, my clients, those who want what I have to offer. And it's raw. It's raw. So raw. Raw footage. All of it. So I figure if I am de-aging on screen, distressing, de-aging, then those of you who want to can also. Now, it's only my customers, truly, my fans. Those who are supportive supporting me in my healing. You know, however it is, I can only give to those who give generously to me. I've lived a long life. And I'm sharing the truth here. This is my observation. So, the agreement is clear. Those of you who love and adore and support me and give generously to me, I am benefiting you the most. That's just how it has to work. That's just how it has to be. And those of you who may feel depleted and feel like you're going through the healing with me, well, you're going through the healing with me. And you will activate your own generosity when it's time, as I activate mine. I am as generous as I can be, perhaps to the point of my detriment by now. I have been kind to my enemies, and they massively betray me again and again. So I cannot serve my enemies. I cannot. Even if they pay me. Sometimes they pay generously, and we're no longer enemies. Somehow an agreement comes into place, an alliance of respect. Those who would otherwise be my enemies. And it changes. There's a lot of shape-shifting going on right now. There's a lot of timeline flipping going on right now. It's a tug of war. It is the greatest psychic battle for our species to be run down, devastated, and living from a place of desperation. That feeling's always kind of been there, hasn't it? But it keyed up strong now. It's so strong now. I know I'm out of balance. I know it's really challenging to be in balance for anybody. Some people are doing a very good job. Some people have it harder than others. Some people are doing a very good job. Their challenge is much harder than most others. In fact, I've seen a few others suffer some similar things. Not that many people are suffering the way I am, the way I have been suffering. And some people are suffering more than me. So, the suffering. Doesn't this feel like the great suffering? Sort of like contrast is, there's so much beauty. We are walking on this thin golden tightrope out of pain. Some of us aren't choosing the golden tightrope. Some of us are having a hard time balancing on it. It's this feeling of, if I focus so deeply on the golden tightrope, out of the stress, will I be alone? And does it not feel worse to be alone than to feel the stress with each other and help? This is how I'm helping. Sharing this rawness. People are not very often taking this risk to show that they've come undone. But I think more and more people are taking this risk, because if we don't show how we're feeling, we may never balance out. It's like the honesty in showing how I'm feeling is helping reflect what's going on, what's out of balance, how to balance. It's formless. If we show what rock bottom feels like, it's going to look like different to everybody's life. If we each share rock bottom, in a sacred way, it will be powerful. Think of this. If you were in Egypt long ago, they were able to communicate in a time capsule like this, their most devastating moments on the planet, and what they were personally going through, not just as a community, but what each individual personally was going through, whether they're very deeply spiritual or very superficial, material. Everyone has a depth and a shallowness and a weakness and a flaw and a strength, and we've got all these unique formulas and expressions of who we are. It's like I don't owe anybody any explanation. It's more that I desire for us to understand each other, because it hurts when we don't take the time to understand each other. It hurts when we're hurting, wounded, and we can't understand each other, and we keep hurting each other so subtly, and there's so much distance. Is it truly because we're all supposed to be distanced and not understand each other? Even when we share a little bit or a lot, we are such multi-dimensional creatures that there's so much to understand us. We are such a depth. And if we're not being honest, how can we understand? if we're too afraid to share the truth, too self-conscious, share the truth of what we're going through, what we're feeling. What do we have? I want to hear it. I want to know what people's belly aches are. I want to hear them belly aching. Why? I want us to find the most magnificent way out of this pain that we're all experiencing in different ways. We were already in pain before it got to be even more painful. I don't want it to get more painful. I want it to get more magnificent. I want it to get more healing even in so much pain. I want to show what the healing is that's needed, that's happening, that can happen. Because normally, in a pandemic, the healers would walk the streets with their medicines, showering blessings, bringing potions, bringing medicine, visiting, communicating, sharing in the streets, in the homes, to kill disease at the risk of losing their own lives. They become very immune and strong, and we walk the streets and we meet with people, and people come to us and we go to them. That's what I should be doing. So here I am. I'm showing the sickness, the sadness, the pain. I'm showing it because I'm showing the healing. And there's all these, like resisting entities, I would say, for me to show this. Because this is what you want to see, and this is what they don't want you to see. They don't want you to see how it's possible to fight them, to rid them out of your life. Because they feed off of our minds, our emotions, our turmoil. They use frequency. They have physicality. But they are also very invisible in how they watch and how they use techniques and tools. And they find it fascinating when we do get on our own 2 feet. Even though we may have been very tortured, like I have been. It's hard to explain them to people because people would just think I'm crazy. People who haven't noticed these things, and not everyone can handle understanding what I'm saying. Many people are relieved to hear what I'm saying because they thought they were crazy. They thought they were a little bit crazy. So when they hear someone else describe the similar stuff, and have a lot more practice with defeating it, one thing is to identify it, to notice it, and not be afraid, because we haven't been noticing it. Here's the tricky part. We haven't been noticing. We are very observant and aware from day one, as a young baby, all the way through. Sometimes people shut down because they see something, they're hurt by it, or they're afraid, and they kind of go into a deep bubble of existence, of fear. Or they're just inducing more and more bliss to block out the negative, which is important. That's what we really do need to do with full awareness right now. And some people aren't able to have a full spectrum of awareness. They just have to tap into the bliss. And that is my intention. I am tapping into the bliss. But for some reason, this pain begs to be documented. I keep thinking, no, why document this pain? Isn't that gonna make me feel the pain? and see and show what feels ugly, you know? It's like, well, this is what we're feeling. You know, I am not alone. Many of us are putting on a brave face. You know who you are. Many people are just sort of in a muggle bubble of expressing themselves, right? But if we can be genuinely shape-shifting into more of our divinity rather than our victimized human, you know, more of a divine earth angel, you know, more, oh Lord, you know, like, can we do it? We keep tuning into it, we keep doing it. It's why we're still here. We're still here. If you can understand my words and not be confused, you know, or if you want to understand what I'm saying, then we can make sense of all this. You know, it's that so many people are communicating online. Are we sharing our true story? You know, it's good to be playful. It's good to play with it. But there's a lot of people acting. And again, it's good to play with it. Play it. But then what is the truth from each individual? Is there a deeper truth time that we need to share? Just raw footage like this. This is me, raw, making this report. Maybe it's just me that's meant to do this. I don't know. But I have a feeling that I am not the only one that needs to do this. Even if we just take the time to self-reflect, to talk to ourselves in the mirror even. And I mean, talk to yourself, you know. listen to yourself. Something happens, when the brain listens back to itself. It's very deep, and you can really smooth out the patterns in your brain when you listen back. Have you ever been on those machines where you listen back? I never actually went on one. I had the opportunity to, but I didn't. But it's supposed to be listening back to your brain. If we listen back to ourselves, like record something and then maybe write something, when we listen back, we smooth it out. So being artistic, being comedy, being music, being expression with your energy, really feel it and be it. Take off the phony baloney. At the same time, you can play and you can tune in to acting out in artistic, creative ways, and not just when you're on the screen. At the same time, can you come forward and share where you're at? All the things you're feeling. You feel happy. You feel bliss. You feel devastation. Can you express devastation? Many of us are like, oh dear, I don't want to express devastation. That is a slippery slope that I'm not sure I'll get up out of. And fair enough. There's this point in devastation where you just want to be real about it so you can climb out. There's this point in devastation where you don't want to spin anymore in it. You want to acknowledge its intensity. I want to acknowledge its intensity. There's this biggest cry feeling like, rescue me, crying out, looking, because those I trusted betrayed me. Then there's this desire to be like, is everyone betraying me? Or is anyone going to rescue me? And then there's this feeling of course, people are going to rescue me, right? It's okay. I can't seem to rescue myself. Help me. I'm hurting. People keep hurting me. People keep distorting who I am. How am I going to rescue me? How am I going to do this? How am I going to rescue the value of who I am if I am not valued by others? What is my value, truly? I'm a 48-year-old, full-grown woman. I'm still fertile. I bleed with fertility. I am of sound mind. I am completely clinically sane. And this is me expressing myself during this time. See, just because someone doesn't say all that's challenging them doesn't mean they're not being strongly challenged. And sometimes we fall off our golden tightrope. This is the risk we take. We want to be nothing but golden, and yet there's all this muck. If we can be real with the muck and deal with it in magnificent ways, well, then perhaps this is more effective results. I thought about it a lot, and yet there's nothing like acting on it. There's nothing like fruition, you know? This is what we want. The fruition of our magnificence in the most finely tuned challenge we've ever experienced on the planet globally. All of us trying to get a handle on, okay, well, how am I making money? All of us trying to get a handle on, okay, how bad is it? All of us trying to get a handle on, is this like from here on out, this kind of control? And is it getting worse? Trying to get a handle on, okay, who's really with me? Trying to get a handle on, okay, is this where I really want to be right now? All these like trying to get a handle on, okay, what am I going to say today? Okay, who am I going to see? Okay, what am I going to watch? You know, is everyone trying to get a handle on, okay, what's important right now? Okay, I'm breathing, thank God. Okay, let's go back to bed. You know? Because our rhythms have been all over the place, been a lot of chaos here. And the fact that we can laugh or smile or stand and be happy at all is a flipping miracle. So keep going with that. Some people are doing better than others on different days. That's it. Some people are falling down, crying randomly at different times. People are holding their shit together strong, and then they hit a precipice where they need to honor their tears. You know what? We need to honor each other's tears, or we're gonna all just call each other loony bins, and that's not fair. We need to be here for each other and not just medicate with covering up. You know, we need to care for each other. We need to listen to ourselves. We need to investigate what being good to us means right now. When we're talking real raw like this. Really raw. It's timeless. Timeless. We feel how, oh my gosh, I recognize this. I recognize it because we're reflecting with each other, and we're able to communicate, even if I don't send this out to anybody. Even if I just sit at home and play these games all by myself of self-reflection or healing. By communicating, we've been told many times, oh, don't talk. Your mind is not right. Or don't talk to yourself. That sounds ridiculous. Chatter. Yes. Is there a disease about chatter? Yes, because we haven't been able to just speak for ourselves, and then that gets all bunged up, and in that bunged upness, a chatterbuggy energy comes along, and there's an anxiety. Crush it. Goodbye, Chatterbug. And let's just